I might get in a little trouble for this one, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because, there's so much bad information, myths, misinformation, if you want to call it that, about what it's like living here in Mississippi. So if you're moving here, you probably don't have the right information if you've been looking other places online in the media about some things. And there's just some things in general too that you need to know. So I broke this down. I got 2 main categories, 8 total points. That's what we're doing here in this video. Things that you need to know, you need to understand about moving here and living in Mississippi. And if I'm going to get in trouble in anything, it's probably this first category because we're just broadly going to talk about the people here in Mississippi. And I got to say, I do love the people here in Mississippi and the vast majority, but there are some little things that do irk me just a little bit. So, hey, we're going to get into it. I'm just going to be honest with you. So first off, this is the hospitality state. That's the nickname of the state. And I think Mississippi lives up to that. The people here are very friendly. Matter of fact, they're more friendly than most people expect. It even throws some people off. I'll get the comments from people that they just didn't expect people to be so nice. Everybody's opening the door for you. People will just start up a conversation with you, whether they know you or not. And that's okay. You just got to go along with it. Don't let it weird you out. It's totally normal. You'll be fine. It's easy to, you can work into it. You don't have to really just jump all the way into it. But yeah, it's a thing here. People are very friendly. And I will extend that a little bit further to say that, a lot of people think that Mississippi today is Mississippi of 40, 50, 60 years ago. And, it's really just not, at least not in my experience. I can't speak for everybody in the entire state because there's bad apples everywhere. It is what it is. But by and large, here in the places I've lived in Mississippi, I just don't see it. I'll get the question, is everybody racist in Mississippi? Am I going to be safe living in this town or that town? And I got to tell you, in my experience, I think you'll be fine. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, obviously. I mean, I don't have everybody's experience. It's something that other people think we need to get past. And I think here in Mississippi, I think we've already gotten past it for the most part, except for some of the political things. And this gets into the stuff that irks me because when you get into the leadership, there's some back and forth and people don't really cooperate, and it might be rooted in some of that, but that's a really deep conversation. What really though I want to talk about here on the kind of the negative side with the people, this is kind of like a 50-50 negative positive thing, is that people here in Mississippi are really kind of generally kind of averse to change or really slow to change. And I think that has really held the state back in a lot of ways when it comes to opportunities and just improving the quality of life for everybody in Mississippi, that kind of thing. On the flip side, it has protected some of the things that people do love about living in Mississippi that we'll kind of get into in the later portion here. So I will say this, if you like what you see about Mississippi, if you're watching all this, you're watching these videos and you're thinking it sounds good to you, I don't think you'll have any problems. But if you come here and you want to change Mississippi, you want to make Mississippi more like where you're coming from, you're probably going to piss off some of those really nice Mississippians. And that's probably just the best way to put it. But like it or not, some of that change is coming because the attitude that has suppressed that and suppressed the economic development, really, in my opinion, is finally subsiding a little bit. It's given away. And the state has done some things to make it really attractive to growth and investment that really is drawing things into the area. And it's probably why a lot of people are watching these videos. Matter of fact, this is a good point to say. If you're watching this and you still want to move to Mississippi, you're thinking about it, you got some questions, you can reach out to us right here. We make the videos to help out, but we love it even more when we can actually meet you and help you make that move here to Mississippi with some of the opportunities we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, I got a little bit more about the people here in Mississippi and really how it's going to affect you. So I don't think it'll come as a big surprise to everybody that being in the South, we are in the Bible Belt here in Mississippi. And according to the last census, 66% of Mississippians said they regularly attend church on Sunday morning. So, if you don't want to go to church, if you don't go to church, that's fine. You live your own life. Nobody's going to say anything to you, or really, you'll be fine. Trust me, you'll be fine. But where it may impact you is just some things you may not expect. So we don't schedule things or plan things on Sunday morning because we just expect that whoever we're talking to, whoever we're planning that for, probably is going to be going to church on Sunday morning. So it's almost like it would be rude to do that. So it's just something to kind of be aware of. So you're not going to see that. You'll see things scheduled maybe on Sunday afternoon, but not Sunday morning. A lot of stores actually will be closed on Sunday altogether. Also, you can't buy liquor on Sunday. You can buy beer. You just can't buy liquor. So, there's some ways that whether you go to church or not, the fact that a lot of people do go to church may impact you if you're living here in Mississippi. And since we're on the subject of religion, we'll get into Mississippi's, I'll call it the almost religion. And that is, of course, college football, because here in Mississippi, we do not have a pro sports team. Now, a lot of people here in Mississippi will adopt a pro sports team from somewhere else in the country. Now, for some people in Mississippi, that's going to be the Saints, especially as you go, farther south in the state. And, some people here actually do make better choices. But y'all know, really, it's about college football here. It's SEC country, Mississippi State, other school up north, and, some other good schools too that aren't in the SEC. Like, if you're watching this video on the day it comes out, Mississippi State is beating Southern Miss today in the season opener. So you go watch that one. Here's your initiation. It's time. College football is back. But sincerely to my Ole Miss alumni and fans, I love you too. It's all in good fun, right? Now, if you can get past the people of Mississippi, and honestly, you probably can. Like I said, they are very friendly. You're going to have to deal with everything else going on here in Mississippi. And got some really important things that you need to understand on that side, too. Starting with the heat, and not really the heat, because look, I hear you. It gets hot in Arizona. I know it does. 110, 115, it must be rough. But you know what? It's dry. And if you haven't really lived in, experienced humid heat, you may just not understand that 90 degrees is way hotter. It just is, because it's coming with 80 or 75% humidity, and it's tough. It can be thick some days. July, August is rough. Now, you're going to have pleasant weather for most of the year, mild winters, all that. You're going to enjoy that. Trust me when I say that by and large, Mississippi has some of the best weather, I think, in the entire country. But you really got to prepare for the humidity in the summer. This really isn't even a joke, y'all. I've never lived in a super dry environment, but I do love going out to super dry environments. One of my favorite places actually in the world is Big Bend National Park, far west Texas. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. Beautiful night skies. And yes, it is a desert environment, super dry out there, and I love it. I feel like I can breathe better. Everything, because just the air is not as thick. I was out there a few weeks ago. See, here's a picture. There's your proof. I was out there, and I got to tell you, it got hot and it felt great. It did not bother me at all because I'm so used to the humidity here. So be prepared for the humidity. And if you can't take it, you can always go inside. I know some parts of the country don't have AC. That's a thing in some places. It's not as common. You got to have AC here, and you can run it. You'll be fine. So just be prepared for that. And while we're on the topic of the weather, the other question I get all the time is, of course, about tornadoes. How bad are they? Are they happening all the time? Are you just constantly living in fear? And I got to say, no, we're not. But it is very important that you be weather aware. Our local weather station, they do a great job of, keeping you up to date, putting out alerts. They'll cover it on TV if there's any potential even for severe weather or storms to be coming through. And you really just got to pay attention to it. And you can look, I'll put a link down in the description if you want to see. There's like a 50-year history of all the tornadoes in Mississippi. And look at really the last few years when you go look at that. Because what I have noticed since I have lived here, almost 2 decades coming up on here in the state of Mississippi, it really has seemed like if you are looking at moving into the Delta area or South Mississippi generally, you're probably at higher risk at seeing some of the bigger tornadoes and seeing things more often. Now, in central Mississippi, the Jackson area where I live, and North Mississippi, as you get up closer to like Memphis, that kind of area, I don't really think you see as much. I'm not going to say they can't happen, because they definitely can. But really, it's just staying alert and being prepared. The vast majority, if you look at that map I told you, it's going to be looking like tons of tornadoes, like they're everywhere, okay? But again, you're probably looking at the 50-year history, and almost all of those are going to be low intensity, very minor compared to the very few who are going to be, the devastating ones. And like I said, they do happen. It's good to be prepared. But, we're not just in a constant state of fear. It's just more, you got to know that it is something to be respected and have a plan, just in case, because it can happen. But when it does happen, it's probably not going to be really close to any major population areas, because Mississippi is still a very rural state. And it's one of the things that people do like about moving here and living here, because even in the cities, honestly, I'm here in the Jackson metro area. So if you're in Flowood, Madison, Brandon, some of these places, this is a suburban area in a lot of those places, but you can be driving and it's just, there's fields, there's, wooded areas that haven't been developed yet. All that is there. So things are just kind of spread out, even in the cities. And I'll say also, you have a lot of outdoor recreational opportunities too, even in the cities. You've got the Ross Barnett Reservoir, you've got a lot of trails, you've got the Natchez Trace running through the area as well. So there's a lot of potential to get outside and enjoy the outdoors here in Mississippi. And a lot of it is wide open. That is another thing though that is probably changing because they are developing things right and left. I'm telling you, in Flowood, Madison, some of these places, just tons of things are being developed all the time. So I don't know how long that aspect, at least within these suburb areas, I don't know how long that's going to stick around, because I mean, you can see in Flowood all the way up and down Highway 25, Lakeland Drive, they're developing that. Things going on really all of the metro area. New neighborhoods, residential neighborhoods are coming up. You're also getting some really big mixed-use developments that I'm actually really excited to see come to the area. They've been in the works for a while, some of them are new. The Waterpoint development in Flowood is a huge one that they've been working on for a while that's coming along. Madison just announced a new one called The Gallery that they just recently started on, which is going to have mostly mixed-use retail, office-type space, restaurants, things like that. That one I'm actually really excited about. And Gluckstadt has a huge one up there. I think that one's called Germantown Village. So that one's another big one that's coming up there. So you got these big developments coming in, and you also have some big commercial things coming in too that are being drawn in by partially that rural aspect of the state where there's just a lot of open land, things are available. And what is that attracting? Data centers, as it turns out. Amazon, AWS, several others are building throughout the state. You know, a lot of them are coming at the Madison County mega site, which is just, it is massive. It is huge, y'all. You've got the regular Amazon, so you can get things here, you know, same day, next day from Amazon, which that is really nice. But you've also got the big data centers because we have the abundance of land. We've got plenty of water because it does rain a lot. It's actually raining outside right now as I'm recording this video. And we also have a lot of additional power that's available on the grid. More is coming online. Mississippi does produce a good bit more electricity than it actually uses. So all those factors together, we're at the kind of the crossroads of some major long haul fiber as well. So those can tap into that. Just makes it a really prime spot for those here, and some other things. We've had some, Continental Tire, Nissan's been here for a while. So you've got some manufacturing. We're the medical hub of the state in the Jackson area. So a lot of medical opportunities here. And those also exist in other parts of the states as well, down the coast or up in North Mississippi, close to the Memphis area. So there's things coming all over the state. I want to know though, you're watching this long in the video, please get down there, leave me a comment. Tell me what has got you looking at potentially making a move to Mississippi. Is it any of these things? Is something else that I haven't even thought of? And as far as my list goes, is there something I'm forgetting? Did I get something wrong? Are you local and you just, I screwed up? Tell me about it. I want to know. So put that down there in the comments too. I like all the comments, good and bad. And you know what I like even more? If you're thinking about making that move to, around, through, anywhere in the state of Mississippi, we're here in the Jackson Metro. I've got a network of agents all over the entire state ready to help y'all out, answer your questions, and I will get y'all hooked up with them. All you gotta do is call. You can text. You can email if you want to, and you could even break out that megaphone. Because like I've always said, really, y'all, whatever it takes, get in touch with us. We're gonna help make your move as smooth, simple, easy as possible here into, from, around Mississippi. So I hope you like this one. Hope I maybe fixed some things that you didn't know. Let me know if I did. Now, if you want to see what the homes and neighborhoods look like here in Mississippi, we do a weekend home show. I got a whole playlist for you. You can check it out right there. And if you haven't seen what you can get for the price that you can get it for here in Mississippi, I think you might be surprised.